Hey friends, it's Bonnie from Let's Create, and I'm going to show you how to make this very simple little scarecrow from a regular canning jar using some ribbon, some cute fall leaves, some things maybe you have around your house. Let's get started, my friends. So be sure that your canning jar is very nice and clean. Wash it and dry it, and try to keep all your fingerprints off of the part that you're going to be painting. Once you have it nice and clean, hold it by the top of your jar like this while you're painting, and keep this surface here that you're going to be painting nice and clean and free from fingerprints. So I've painted this ahead of time a little bit so that it would have time to dry. When you are painting your canning jar, because it is glass, now I just use regular acrylics on this, be sure that you paint in one direction. You're going to load your brush up. I start at the neck of the canning jar and I paint down, reload, and I paint down. I reload and I paint all in one direction. You don't want to go over your surface several times because that's going to pull the paint from your glass. You'll do that one time and you'll know exactly what I mean. So make each stroke a separate area on your canning jar. Now you can see this is just a plain old regular canning jar. It has all the bumps on it and all the ridges. So, and that's totally fine if you don't have a canning jar that is completely smooth. I'm using this on purpose just to show you that you can do that too. So say hi, gals. I see a lot of you hopping on here. Welcome to those of you that watch this in replay too. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to put a little face on our scarecrow. I'm going to start at the top. Again, using regular acrylic paint and a nice liner brush. I'm going to use black, and I'm going to put the face on mine on this back part. Again, you can see the ridges there. I'm going to paint right on top of those. So let's put some eyes on him first here. Let's see, I'm going to let's just kind of make some circles here. You can make your eyes any shape that you would like. I'm going to make this very simple. Two little circles there. We're going to fill in a little bit here. Let me turn this around so you guys can see. I'll paint backwards for y'all. Backwards and upside down. How about that? Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of black in these circles here. I'm still using my liner brush. And if you want eyebrows, you can put eyebrows on him. If you want a cute mouth, you can do that too. I want a mouth on mine that looks like a scarecrow. So I'm going to kind of give him a smile. I'm going to turn this to face me too. I'm going to give him a smile. I'm going to put that on here first. Like so, super easy. And then I'm going to add some stitch marks to it. And again, he's a scarecrow, so make it kind of irregular. Couple of stitch marks there on the side. And this is black that I'm using for the eyes and the mouth. Now, gals, you could probably use a Sharpie also if that's easier for you to do. And my little scarecrow, he needs a nose also. So I'm going to use just a nice little flat brush and some orange paint. And we're going to give him a nose by just making a triangle. Now I know I made my eyes a little smaller, but I'm going to make my nose a little bit bigger on this guy. just to make him cute. See how easy that is? Just make a triangle, let it dry. I'm gonna give it a second here. So when I painted the skin, the flesh color, it did take 2 coats. And I'm gonna put a second coat here, real light on this nose. And again, gals, if your paint is wet, it's gonna pull off the glass. So be sure that your paint is nice and dry before you move on and put a second coat on. I'm gonna dry this really quick here. Now, here's a quick tip for you when you're drying with a hairdryer on any kind of glass. If you're using a wine glass or project, be sure that your glass is back to room temperature before you start working with it. All right, I'm moving things around here a little bit, getting my glue gun out that I've got all warmed up here. We're gonna put some hair and some ribbon on our scarecrow. So I'm just gonna use raffia, and I've got it cut here to hot glue on my little scarecrow here. And I want some to also stick out through the top of his hat that we're going to make here. So just kind of hold it. Measure it before you glue it on here. Kind of look at it. I think I want it to be about that large or that tall there. I'm going to snip it here. And I do have a crafting stick because I am using hot glue this time. And I don't want to glue my fingers. So I'm going to lay my jar down. I think I'm going to put him that way. Be sure you get the right side of your face here. So you want to have the raffia toward the front, not the back. Now, if you have a lot of the raffia, you can totally put it all the way around the jar if you want to. I am not, oh, grab my hot glue gun here. I am not putting that much on it. I'm just gonna put some down the side here. Putting my glue on first. And again, I want this to stick up because I want some to stick up through the top of the hat. I'm gonna push that down. Those of you that have been following me very long, you know I say this all the time. Give the glue some time to do its job. Let the hot glue, whether you're using super glue, give it a couple of minutes here for it to do its work. We're gonna put more ribbon and things on here also. But I want this to stick on here really nice and good. All right. Let it cool off. And we're gonna do the other side. And this should be pretty close to the length that I want. And you can see I've got all these extra long things. I'm gonna leave them on there. That way I can trim it to fit how I want it to be when I get it all done. I'm gonna stick it up above the can again so that some of this raffia sticks out through the little hat that we're gonna make and put on him from our ribbon. Gonna hold that. See, he's getting a little bit of personality there. right, I'm gonna move this out of the way here. I'm gonna snip a couple of these that are super long. Okay, now I have a piece of burlap ribbon that is actually a wire ribbon, but I'm going to trim one end of the ribbon off because I want his hat to look a little like a scarecrow, a little tattered, a little on the rough side. So I'm going to expose that. I'm just trimming off that edge there to leave. So I've got one edge here with wire and one that doesn't have any wire on. So I'm going to put the wire edge down on the brim of the hat, and I'm going to connect his hat to the back side of the jar and glue it and pull it tight on the back side so that your work is all on the back. Let's put a little bit of glue down here. And I'm pressing on that with my crafting stick. You can use a pencil, whatever you have there at home. I'm going to pull this around, and I want it to be just a little snug on him. Not too tight, but just a little bit snug. And again, I'm going to apply my glue on the back side, keeping the front nice and clean. The edge that we trimmed off is toward the top of his hat. The piece of the ribbon that has the wire is still on the bottom side. I'm going to trim a little bit of this extra off here. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them when I get all done. There's a little bit of him. He's starting to come together. Now, if you have any kind of silk flowers to use, I'm just going to use these leaves because I already have them here at home. You can put a sunflower on him. Anything that you have there at home that's kind of fall to put on his hat would be really cute. These little leaves have tiny little stems. I'm going to trim them off because I don't want them sticking out the bottom of my hat. And I'm going to glue them on kind of on the side. So I'm putting the largest leaf on first, and I'm offsetting it. I'm not putting it in the middle. I'm going to put it on the side here. Giving that a second to dry, and then we're going to, or to cool, we're going to add our second leaf on in a little bit different angle. Put just a little bit more glue underneath here. Let me show you those. See how they're kind of offset? So they're not in the middle of his hat. They're off to the side. And then each leaf, I have the large one on first in the back and then the smaller one in the front. I'm going to take my accent ribbon that I have, any kind of pretty fall color, and we're going to run that around the bottom of his hat and secure it again on the back side of our jar to hide our hot glue and to hide our work that we're doing. Now my accent ribbon I set up just a hair, just a little bit from the bottom of his hat. Run that around. Let's see if I like that before I glue it here. Now this one here is going to, he's actually running right across the bottom, which is fine. I'm going to glue it on the back side. Isn't he cute? So you can add as much as you want to his face while you're painting, or like I said, you can put raffia all the way around his hair, however much that you want to do, clear around the jar. I like this sticking out the top when you get him all done and he's nice and cool. The hot glue is nice and set. Move that around, give him a little haircut. I like to leave it on a little bit on the longer side. There's a piece here. Be sure that you pull all of the hot glue strings off of him so he doesn't have any of those hanging on there. And there you go. A very easy little scarecrow out of a canning jar that is so fun to make, so easy to do. Be sure and sprinkle this to your friends if you have other crafty friends that would also enjoy making this little project. Thanks for watching today and happy creating, my friends.